anyway, the people who dig the graves were there in that they used to go to this pub to drink. Anyway, it's the best place for a pint of Guinness, I can assure you.
So now is that old enough that it's close to the city center?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like 15 minutes from the city center. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
15. Yeah, it's not far. Yeah.
And then how far would that be from the Guinness factory?
Also not far either,
Okay.
because the Guinness factory is on the side of that side of the river. It's on the north side.
Okay.
This factory is very central. It's from the kind of the main shopping area, it's about 10 minutes. And then this pub is another 10 minutes.
Okay.
But on good authority that the Guinness in this pub is better than the Guinness factory, which I don't know why, because it's going from literally 10, 15 or half an hour away. I don't know. But anyway, this is the common consensus. Yeah.
So I don't know if this is purely psychological or if there is a real physical aspect to it, but Guinness in the United States just is not the same as it is, at least overseas. And I've never been to Ireland, but I can say I've been quite a few places in Europe, and even just like all the Irish pubs where I've had a Guinness in Europe it just hits different than Guinness in the US.
Oh yeah. Well, you just wait till you have a pint in Dublin, because
Okay.
like for any Irish person anyway, Guinness outside of Ireland it doesn't taste the same. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
We still drink it. It doesn't stop us, but I mean, it's just not the same,
You always got to represent Ireland no matter where you are.
Here, listen. So anyway, but that's and I don't know why. I don't know whether it's something to do with the brewing or I don't know, but I don't know. But the other reason why this pub is really famous is because it's really old. It's one of the oldest pubs in Ireland, and it's really super traditional, and it's a great place.
I'm so excited. Yeah. Ireland has been on my list for a while. And so when I ended up buying that flight just because it was like one of the cheapest flights I could find just to get over to Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in. Let's check out Ireland a little bit.
Because you're based in Las Vegas, are you? Where are you? Las Vegas?
Yeah. Yep. I live in Las Vegas. Yep. I've been here for a couple years now. Yeah. This is actually now there's two Catholic high schools here. So we have the Catholic high school that's been in Las Vegas since I think it's 1952. And that's the school I work for. And then there's a new, which is actually, I guess this one was established by a Viatorian order too. But that Viatorian presence isn't here anymore. Like the charism, Viatorian charism is still present. But yeah, so now there's a second Catholic high school in Las Vegas, which was established and is for the most part still being run by the Viatorian order, which is much smaller and is specifically for lower income, lower economic, social status students.
Yeah. And your students, what is the age range? How old are they, or?
So for this, high school. So in the US, high school is 14 to 18. And then specifically, I'm going to be using this for my vocations class, which is our seniors. So at this point in the year, they're pretty much all 18-year-olds.
18-year-olds.
Yeah. So technically adults.
Yeah, technically. Yeah.
Whether they act like it or not, that's another
question. Yeah, it's another story. Yeah.
No, they're fun kids.
Do you think that maybe well, I don't know, maybe you don't want to, you could get to our monastery while you're in Europe, or no, again?
So I had really thought about it. I would love to. So I did a pilgrimage last summer as well. I did the Via Francigena to Rome.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. God, how was that?
Oh, it was great. It was, I really love it. So I've done the Camino twice. Now last summer I walked to Rome on the Via Francigena. But that was so that took basically my entire summer.
Wow.
I left the day after the school year ended, and I got back just a week, if that, before the new school year started. And so I got started out the new school year, not feeling super refreshed, in fact, quite exhausted. So I decided, even though I'm going to do a pilgrimage again this summer, I decided that it needed to be a much shorter one. So I don't have a ton of time in Europe.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So I don't know, but I did think about it, and it's still not completely off the table.
Okay. Well, we will wait for you.
If I'm able to, I will definitely contact Barbara or someone.
Yeah. Get in touch.
Yeah. Welcome. Hello, sisters.
Hello, Joe.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Andrea.
So let's see, where's everybody coming from? Oh, I guess for starters, is this everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, great. So maybe let's start here. Where's everybody coming from? Because I know Sister Barbara was telling me that you guys were coming from a few different of your locations.
Ashley.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, we've already had this conversation, but I'm in Carrion de la Condes. I'm in our albergue. We have an albergue up on the Camino de Santiago, which is a pilgrimage route in Spain. And our community has a albergue up here because we felt a really strong desire, a really strong call to be on the Camino de Santiago. No, we have a very strong sense that we are also pilgrims, no, seeking and searching God every day, and we wanted to be in contact with other pilgrims, and we knew that they wouldn't pass by our monastery, so we came up onto the Camino to meet the people of the world, no, because all the people in their many forms and diversity are walking the Camino de Santiago, and we would like to meet them, and also with the hope to be a little light or a little yellow arrow for them on their Camino, no, on their way. So this is where I am in service today. So, yep.
Beautiful.
Hi, my name is Andrea. I'm actually from Santiago de Compostela, northwest of Spain, and we all belong to the same community of Augustinian sisters in Sotillo de Ladrada, which is in the center of Spain. But right now I am actually in Madrid City, because some sisters, we're studying theology at university. I'm all the faculties in Madrid. So for a few years now, the Augustinian brothers of our order have allowed us to live in a little house they have here, which makes it a lot easier and to come and go every day, because we are about an hour and a half away from the monastery. So from Monday till Friday, 6 sisters, we live here together. We have our little community within the community, and we're mainly here so that we can continue with our studies, which is also kind of a main pillar of our life. And we each do different studies, but for us who study at the university, here we are.
Okay, I'm Isabel from Madrid. I am the only one in the monastery in this moment of the 3 of us. We are almost 40 sisters in the community here in Sotillo. But as they said, some of them are now taking care of the mission with the pilgrims in Carrion, the other ones studying with the almost final exams in Madrid, and here I am.
Wonderful. And now, so do you guys have any other locations of your specific order?
Yeah, we have a community in Lima, Peru. There are almost 20 sisters in Lima. And we have also a small presence in Chicago, in New Lenox. We are taking care of the Augustinian sisters, the only community there is in the States of Augustinian sisters, there are 3 of them, quite old, and the order asked if we could go there and take care of them in these last moments of at least 1, 2 of them. They are 80 something, so they need care and love.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So I got a little bit ahead of myself, so I'm gonna back up a little bit. I was telling the story already once before. I'll go and tell it again. So I was connected to your specific order specifically by walking El Camino de Santiago. So I've walked the French route twice now, and both times I stayed in Correllon de los Condes with the sisters, and then I was invited to come and join you all in Sotillo, just outside of Madrid. And so that's kind of how I was, introduced specifically, and got the pleasure to spend some time with some of the sisters there. So would somebody want to tell me, I know I've heard this story a little bit about the origins of your specific. So you are of the Augustinian order or branch of religious orders. Could you tell us a little bit about the specific origins of how Augustinian Sisters of the Conversion came to be?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I can say something. So as you were saying, yes, our community, it belongs to the Order of St. Augustine. This order goes back to the 13th century. So it's from medieval times, what we call mendicant order, the same as the Franciscans, Dominican, how do you say sorry in English?
Dominicans.
Okay, Dominicans and Carmelites. Basically, so we belong to this order, which comes back from medieval times, but the specifics, let's say, of our community, we were, so like 25 years ago, a group of sisters who belonged already to a religious community of Augustinian sisters felt a call to go back to the origins of the Augustinian life, in the sense, many things that maybe in 13th century the Augustinian friars could live because of the history and the way of life. Basically, women could not live. So that's why we think of Augustinian sisters, or the Carmelites, or the Franciscans, and they all, for many years, they had a very similar life, like the idea we have of cloister life, like with the rails and not being able to go out, this kind of thing, which is at least here in Spain, is the image that comes to mind when we think of this kind of life. But starting 21st century and going back, it's like in the new times, but as well being like faithful to the origins, if you see what I mean. This group of sisters discovered that we could live what we couldn't back then, basically. So the call is to be able to have our contemplative life and life of prayer and study, but as well, like with a certain openness to pastoral work, and to be able to be with people and to take the good news to them, like men do as well, in that way. And that's something specific, which then it's in our daily life that you can see that. I don't know if we have a house where we can have people come to the monastery, and we can organize retreats with them, for example, or if the parish needs help from us, they can count with us for, I don't know, Sunday school, things like this, or we are in the Camino, so that we can go to meet people there and send this talk about Christ in the end, and try to bring people to the church to know him. So that's something now the sisters can add a lot more things, but this is something specific from our way of life within the order.
And so that, I mean, I guess this is going to be, that might be something unique, or at least when you think about maybe a religious order like the Benedictines, who are more, stable and in one location and spend, dedicated to prayer kind of holistically, that prayer and work. I guess this answer is probably going to look different for each of you, but what does a typical day in the life of a sister of the Augustinian Sisters of the Conversion look like?
I'll take this one. Our typical day, generally we wake up at 6 o'clock, okay, and our first prayer is at 6:30. After that prayer, we read the daily gospel and have a period of prayerful prayer, no? Lectio Divina, no, on the gospel or the lectures that we've heard. After that, then generally there's the mass, no, accompanied with laudes, which is the morning prayer. After that, we have our breakfast, and in the mornings generally we enter into a period of work, no. This is a space that's more fraternal, no, so we're working together on different projects. We have different kind of aspects or threads, you know. Some people work outside maintaining our grounds, other people work in our with wood, making icons or making notebooks or rosaries. But the intention is not for selling, no. It's always the attention is on prayer. So we're taking the gift that God has given us through our prayerful prayer, no, listening to the word of God, and then we're taking that into our work and sharing it with our sisters and sharing it with the guests who also come and work with us. After that period of work, say in the morning, then we have our midday prayer, and then after that, then we have our lunch. After the lunch, there's a siesta, no, a period of rest. We're in Spain, so this is
I love
important.
Spain.
Spanish anyway. And then generally speaking in the afternoons then is a period of time of studying, which is another really big, like what Andrea was saying, is part of our, a pillar, no, is part of our charisma, no. For the sisters who are in their first kind of 3 years in the community, their study is basically in-house studying with the prioress and the formation, say, mistress of the novitiates and postulants. The other sisters then who are in more progressed in the years, they either study like Andrea in Madrid, or they have formal studies online in theology. After that period of studying, we have Vespers. So it's our evening prayer. And then we have a moment of personal prayer. After that is our dinner. And then we have a moment of or a space and time for fraternity, which is also another really big pillar for the Augustinians, no, is our life shared fraternally, no. So we have a period of recreation. But in reality, our whole week is based on a memory of the life of Christ, no. So Thursdays is a fraternal day, no, and it's about us being together around the table, no, celebrating, I suppose, the Last Supper, no. Friday is a bit more, I won't say austere, no, but we have a little bit more silence throughout the day. So in our meal times, it'd be silent. We'd listen to music at lunch. The meals are a little bit more, well, reduced. And then Saturday, then we have a vigil, like a mini vigil, no, that to celebrate the Paschal vigil that we celebrate during Easter. And then Sunday then is a grand celebration and also a day of rest. So we're constantly living in the vein and the memory of the life of Christ.
Yeah.
So that's kind of generally speaking, yeah.
Wow, it's beautiful. So in this course with my seniors, we in the course of talking about vocation and vocations, of course, talk about discernment as well. And so maybe could you talk about, maybe from a personal perspective, what's that discernment process looked like for you? So how did you finally come to this place of deciding that this was what you wanted to do with your life? And then maybe in a broad sense, like what is the order itself? What is that? Are there steps to becoming a fully consecrated sister.
I'm going to try. My English is not theirs, so please be patient. Well, knowing the will of God, or knowing what He exactly wants from you, it's very easy, and at the same time, very difficult. During my life, I've had almost everything I wanted, no? My friends, my family. I had the opportunity, you know, to study what I wanted. I had my job. I love traveling. And this is another thing that I did, and I did a lot. And during my youth and later, there was something inside that was not completed, no? I traveled, I had friends, I had my job, but there was always something missing. And I didn't know what this was, and I even didn't know how could this be possible with all the things I had. I had my boyfriend, I had my friends, my parties, everything. And there was always something that was like screaming, like shouting, no, inside. And I discovered with the time, not only, so before coming here to the monastery, I went to Kolkata, to India with the Missionaries of Charity. And I went there 2 times. And in both occasions, I discovered that I was happy. Just doing, taking care of others, spending time with other people that were willing to do the same thing, no? Just helping, just loving others, being with others, not having your own time, not having anything by your own, no? Just sharing, giving. And with this kind of life, in this moment, I discovered that I was really in peace and really happy. With the time, I met the sisters. After going through many periods of happiness, crisis, and everything, you discover that the voice that is inside, and that hole that it's empty, it fills with Jesus. I could travel a lot. I could buy all the clothes and all the things I wanted, that nothing made me happy. And listening to this, listening to where you are happy, with who you are happy, doing what kinds of things you are in deep peace. That's the way you discover, that you belong to Him, that you are only happy doing His things. And that was the way I discovered that I wanted to belong to Him. I wanted to do all the things that came from Him. I discovered this community, and I discovered that in this house, all the things I was looking for, searching, I could live all those things here. Praying, fraternity, living in communion. Well, more or less.
It's beautiful. I don't know where else to go from there. Oh, if you could touch on this. So, what is, I think well, I'll maybe start from here. I know some of our students are afraid to even go on a retreat because there's this idea that, you know, we'll make you drink the Kool-Aid kind of thing. Brainwashed. And so maybe could you, or maybe even young people, and I mean, I could say this was maybe even myself at a time of afraid to even kind of look into it, of religious life or priesthood, things like that, for a couple reasons of, oh, what if I check it out and I do feel a pull to it, which is scary. But also maybe of, oh, are they going to like trap me there? Could you talk about the process of actually from day one to being just made aware of the religious order of the sisters to actually being a consecrated sister?
Well, for me, like I think the first thing is that I suppose a religious vocation is deeply intimate. It's actually between you and God, you know, and it's actually Him who brings you to it and reveals it to you, you know. And He always does that in a very gentle way. No, nothing is ever forced or there's no pressure. At least that's the experience of me, and I'm 100% sure my sisters as well. From a discernment point of view, from the community point of view, my experience was one of simply listening. No, I had sisters who accompanied me along my way, you know, from the moment that I met them in the albergue here in Carrion until I entered 3 years ago. Just people who listened to me and responded to where I was at in that moment, you know. And then when I felt comfortable, because it was all very new for me, you know, so when I finally had the courage to say, you know, it's a consecrated life with this community in this monastery, when it was very, very clear, again, the sisters and the community just listened and responded to my needs, no? I started with an experience, no? So I lived with the sisters for a period of time to discern whether this life was really for me, no, and also for the community to get to know me too, because that's also important. And then I had a prolonged stay with them because I was quarantined with them in COVID, which is probably divine providence, no? And also multiple times, like I exited that experience and came up onto the Camino de Santiago again to places where I felt a very strong connection with God, you know? And all of this was to help clarify and really make my vocation very concrete, you know? So then when I entered 3 years ago, I had a certain a very strong clarity as to what I was doing and why I was there, no, which is to love Him and to serve Him, no, and that was very clear. But from the community point of view, from the discernment, my experience was one of just listening and responding to my needs, no. But advice for young people, you know, is to go and discover whatever it is, you know, not to be afraid, no, because you go and discover and experiment and go and see what God has for you, no. He has many wonderful things and surprises, no, not just religious life. There's many gifts within everybody, no, to discover what they are, and then just go and share that gift that He has created in you. And that for me is really vocation.
Beautifully said. As we're coming up on our time here, the free version, we're going to end in about 4 minutes here. Is there anything else you might like to share, either in general, in any way, about your vocation, about your discernment, about religious life in general, about your specific, just anything, any final thoughts you might want to leave with the young people, my students?
maybe very quick, just 3 minutes, but like following what you were asking and Ashley was saying, for me was kind of a big relief to realize for myself that really what God wants for each one of us, for me, for the sisters, for you, for everyone, is he wants us to live and to have life and life in abundance. And in the end, at the end of the day, what he wants for me, it's going to be the best for me, and it's going to be what I want. So to realize that his will and my own will, they can coincide, and in fact they do. For me, that was a very big relief, because I at that time I was, of course, like afraid and all this kind of thing, and what a crazy idea. But then little by little, it's like pieces of a puzzle just start to fit in, and there's no better option, there's no a better vocation, whatever. It's just his will for me is going to be in the end what makes me really happy and being at peace and having this sense of fulfillment and sense in life, which in the end we're always looking for what's the purpose in life and all this kind of stuff. And so it's a challenge to like let go and to trust, but in the end what we can say, I think, is it's worth it. And he wants us to be free and loved by him, and that's why that's what we read in scripture, that truth will make you free. And in this sense, that he's the truth, and his life and what he wants for us, it's true, and it's our life, and that's what gonna make us live free in the sense, the life that we also want to live. He's never going to want something that's going to be that bad for us in that sense. So what we can say at the end is like, well, don't be afraid, just to be open and ask God and to follow whatever he wants for you, because that's surely going to be the best thing that can happen to you.
Absolutely. That was certainly that concept that, God's desire for me is truly my deepest desire, was kind of a turning point for me as well. Because I can say honestly, I've been to that place of like, what if God wants me to do this thing that I absolutely hate? And like, no, that's not the way God works. That's not who God is. So we're in our last minute. I just want to say thank you so much for your time, sisters. It's wonderful to spend this time with you. And again, for me personally, if I can make it back to so to you, to spend some time in prayer with you all, that would be a beautiful.
Come with your students.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Bring them all.
I will be in Spain. Well, I'll be in Europe this summer. I don't know if I can get my students to tag along with me. Maybe someday. I have talked about doing like a